Hello, you are watching the latest edition of DBE TV News. Thank you for tuning in either on OpenView channel 122 on the DBE YouTube channel or on Bricks TV channel 509 Starset. Please remember to share the link with your friends, family and anyone in your circles. Welcome. My name is Tsehohajo Moagi. In the news this week, Basic Education Director General Matanzima Mweli has visited the last push revision camps in Mpumalanga. We hear his message to the Matric class of 2021 and also motivation messages from the learners. It's the second week of the National Senior Certificate and the Basic Education Department says all is going well. Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule was in the Eastern Cape to hand over a newly constructed school. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused major learning and teaching disruptions, and now there are concerns that it may have also created a gap in the number of children who are being enrolled into school, especially in grade R and 1. Stay tuned to the bulletin to find out more. And the Inkosi Albert Luthuli Oral History Competition took place last month. We get more details about what this competition is all about. Remember to get in touch by using our social media platforms on Twitter at DBE_SA and at DBE TV News, Facebook DBE SA, Instagram DBE SA. You can use the hashtag DBE News. Basic Education Director General Matanzima Mweli has urged the Matric class of 2021 to continue studying even as they write their final exams. Mweli has been visiting the last push camps where learners continue with revision lessons. While in Mpumalanga, Mweli urged Matric learners to be proud of the efforts they've put in despite the difficulties they have faced. Our reporter, Robinson Ngola, has more.
Do you think you're going to be the best class ever? Yes. I can't hear. Are you going to be the best class ever? Yes. Good boys. Good.
The Director General Matanzima Mweli says he's certain that these learners are the best and that they will do extremely well. Mweli visited revision camps for the Matric class of 2021 at Insika Secondary School in Elukwatini, Mpumalanga.
You've had a better academic year, and we believe that you should perform better than the class of 2020. Do you believe it? Yes. Yeah. And we call the class of 2021 the Phoenix. Phoenix. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix. You check the meaning of the word Phoenix on Google or dictionary, it will tell you that a phoenix is a mythical bird, known for rising from the ashes. You burn the phoenix 1,000 times, 1,001 times, the phoenix will keep rising. You keep on burning it, the phoenix will never end in the ashes or with the ashes. The phoenix will dust off the ashes and rise again.
He says he's confident that these learners will rise from the COVID-19 disruptions and be successful in all they do.
So the meaning of rising like a phoenix from the ashes, it says in real life, it means to emerge from total destruction, catastrophe, stronger, smarter, and more powerful. How we wish that when we present your results to the Minister and the President, we'll be able to say, Honorable Madam Minister, Your Excellency, Mr. President, we know that the results of the class of 2020 had the highest number of distinctions, highest number of bachelors, highest number of learners who wrote 7 subjects, and they did well in them. But the results of the class of 2021, Mr. President, they are stronger, smarter, and more powerful than the results of the class of 2020. Do you believe it?
Yes. Matric learners at various schools in the Mpumalanga province also shared their views of the year and had some words of encouragement for their peers.
I would really love to say thank you for this special visit and thank you for motivating us to be the phonics of the year 2021. And to everyone sitting down there, grade 12s, I plead with you, like it depends on, success depends on the second letter, you, so that you can make it in life.
Ukubonga kini bantwana participation yenu kusukela umnyaka sithi size kube manje sifikela kulesikhathi samanje. Yebo kona bothisha basasenzele konke esidingayo, bothisha basizile konke into esidingayo. Kepha up to thina ukuthi thina sifuna kangakanani ifuture yethu. Sekuphuma kithi ukuthi thina sizimisele kangakanani ukuze sitshintshe impilo zethu for the better. Ukubonga kakhulu for this such a great event namhlanje esibe nayo lapha esikoleni sethu ebantwa bethu. Kunoko kuphela engakusho kepha ngesilungu bayasho bathi futures cannot be predicted but the future can be invented.
On behalf of our 2021 fellow candidates, class of 2021, I would like to convey a huge gratitude to our Director General and his office, or to everyone who had set this program. We feel very much honored and privileged to be visited by the Director General. It probably means that our effort is being recognized.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you all for dedicating and sacrificing your time for being here to encourage us and make our future the brightest. Okay, we probably promise that we will do much better than the class of 2020 this year. Okay, and I will thank you all grade 12 for being the best learners of 2021 since the beginning of the year till now.
I would like to thank the teachers for taking time away from their curriculum to allow students to hear this message. This assembly would have been impossible without your support. I would like, on behalf of the Highfield Secondary School class of 2021, to extend a hearty vote of thanks to our guest speakers for gracing us with their influential presence and words of encouragement and insight. I am elated to have gotten this far with my fellow classmates. Even in the midst of a pandemic and with the setback we experienced due to the academic gap caused by the COVID-19 regulations, my fellow candidates and I have managed to triumph all and see to it that we complete the race that we have started. In conclusion, class of 2021, I urge you to be firm in your choices right now. Do not go backwards onto the habits and situations that weren't helping you to evolve. You have to keep reminding yourself why you started the race in the first place and continue moving forward. Whenever you fall, learn to stand up, dust off the dirt and continue like nothing ever happened. Fake it till you make it, because you will get to the end.
I'd like to thank everyone who decided to bless us with their presence. We are really grateful. We promise not to disappoint. We promise to set our priorities straight and work hard. We promise that we will nail the exams and we will do better. Thank you.
Mueli reminded learners that they owe their success mostly to themselves, but also to their families and teachers who've prioritized them during this year.
Rise, Phoenix, rise. Rise. Rise, Phoenix, rise from the ashes.
Rise. Robinson Ngola reporting for DBE TV News in Mpumalanga.
Matric learners are now in their second week of exams. They wrote their first National Senior Certificate exam on the 27th of October with English Paper 1. This week, learners will be writing Afrikaans, Maths Paper 1 and Maths Paper 2. The Basic Education Department says it is confident that everything will go well and systems are in place to ensure there aren't any leaks during these exams. The Matric class of 2021 also signed pledges promising to be honest in their exams, not to cheat and report any irregularities. Remember, the WhatsApp line to report any irregularities is 069 335 2818. That's 069 335 2818. Stay tuned. After the break, we go to the Eastern Cape where the Deputy Minister handed over a new school to the community there.
Meet Tando. She's a learner who is very happy to go back to school after waiting to see her friends. She has heard many people talk about COVID-19, a disease caused by the coronavirus. COVID-19 is very contagious and is spread when fluid droplets that carry the virus are transmitted from one person to another, or from objects or surfaces that some of these droplets have caught onto. How can Thando get the virus? When a COVID-19 infected person coughs, sneezes, or shouts, droplets containing the virus are released into the air, then fall onto skin and other surfaces. Luckily, there are many things that we can do to help Thando prevent getting infected with COVID-19. Since hygiene safety starts at home, we must all follow these 7 golden rules. 1. Thando must wash her hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds each time. She can sing happy birthday twice to make sure she washes her hands for 20 seconds. If soap and water is not available, she must use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol content. She must make sure that all parts of her hands, including in between her fingers, wrists, and palms, are thoroughly washed or covered in hand sanitizer. 2. Thando must avoid touching her eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. 3. She must avoid close contact with people who are sick or who display any symptoms of COVID-19. 4. When in public, she must always practice social distancing. 5. If Thando feels sick, she must stay at home and try to keep a distance from others in her household. She must make sure that she does not share items like unwashed eating utensils or personal hygiene items. 6. She must cover her cough or sneeze with a flexed elbow or a tissue, then throw the tissue in a bin with a lid. 7. Thando's house must be regularly cleaned, and all frequently touched objects and surfaces must be regularly disinfected with an alcohol-based disinfectant that contains at least 70% alcohol. If Thando and her classmates follow these rules, they will help create a safer environment. Masks must always be worn anywhere outside of the home. Let's work together and help Thando stop the spread of COVID-19.
Welcome back. Basic Education Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule urged the Mdantsana community to protect the newly constructed school that she's handed over. While doing the handover of Nkululeko Rolo Higher Primary School, Mhaule was encouraged by the fact that it will bring back dignity for learners and teachers.
Ingane zethu la e-primary school bane library, bane center, bane kitchen lihle, banamaklasi amahle. Si-expect-ke ukuthi abothisha isithunzi senu sibuyile bothisha balesikole. Isithunzi senu is back as teachers, akho umuntu osazokudelela. Ngoba mawuphuma endlini ekuseni uthi ngemsebenzini there's something ekudonsayo ukuthi ngemsebenzini, and mawusemsebenzini ozumsebenzi wakho kunento ehlala phansi ungasheshi ukuya ekhaya mali incwadi zabantwana uhleli preparela ikusasa uhleli khona lapha esikoleni ngoba sekumnandi the situation in school. So ngithanda ukunibonga mphakathi sithembisile masingale sathi yes isikole siphelile kodwa sifenswana. Ifenisi manje umphakathi. Be the fence of the school until we come back and put the actual fence.
Mhaule says she is aware that the toilets that have been built are not enough. She has promised that this will soon be rectified.
Ama-toilets siyawabona ayashoda siwakhile kodwa ayashoda sizobuya. Ngikhumbula ukuthi kunezinye izikole ezingenayo i-toilet eyi-1. Masingabuyi kusasa understand phela ukuthi i-budget eyi-1 okufuze sakhe ngayo yonke le ndawo. So-ke but we will, as we promised, we will come back and fence the school and put additional toilets to the school. Sisane challenge enkulu, sisafuna ukwakha ezinye izikole, kwezinye indawo baseno-0, kwezinye indawo banama-unsafe structures lapho ingane zethu mazingena khona sibona ngathi ngeke ziphume. So-ke siyabonga kakhulu, sizonijoyina ukunibongisa mphakathi ukuthi ninento enhle kanje asiphatheni kahle sihloniphe nezizukulwana ezizayo zibuye zizongena la.
The Deputy Minister has emphasized the importance of primary school learning and ensuring learners are kept in school until they complete their grade 12.
Abantwana bethu abafunda la kule sikole sifuna ukubabona balandelwa, babona ukuthi bayafika phambili ngoba normally kunenkinga yama primary school abalandela abantwana babo babona ukuthi bayaphumelela high school. Masijajwa kwi Department of Basic Education sijajwa kabili ngonyaka kuthiwe kunesikhathi sama audits, isikhathi saka auditor general siyajajwa la like all other departments. Kodwa-ke masekufika uJanuary sesijajwa futhi ngama results waka grade 12. Siyakhohlwa ukujaja kusukela nekwa grade R, grade 1 up to grade 12. Sijaje phela masebephuma bese siyabuza ukuthi baphi abanye ngoba mabenza ugrade 1 bebe 1 million. Mase babhala exam seba u500 or 400,000 bapha abanye. Kanti kuleyo journey leyo fuze sibambisane sonke bangasilahlekeli endleleni ngoba bayikusasa lesizwe.
To this now, researchers at the Basic Education Department have found that there is an enrollment deficit of about 30,000 for first-time grade R and grade 1 learners compared to previous years. That is revealed in a recent report looking into the extent to which enrollment has worsened between the 2020 and 2021 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Earlier this year, the Basic Education Department released a report which revealed that learners in disadvantaged communities lost almost a year's worth of learning on average just in 2020. This, of course, due to school closures and losing contact time because of rotational learning.
This is actually the largest problem. Here, the finding is that about 30,000 children have not been enrolled for the first time as they should. So this is really the problem that we should be focusing most on. So provincial education departments, social development departments need to focus on getting children who should be starting school into school. But now the bottom line is that these figures we're talking about, we're talking of perhaps 50,000 fewer enrollments than we should have. That's 1/10 of the 500,000 that the NIDS-CRAM report found. I'm working with people who did the NIDS-CRAM report, and we're looking at the comparisons that were made 2021 to 2018. 2018 was the baseline year they used, and I'm pretty convinced that there were some problems with the calculation of the enrollment attendance statistics for 2018, and if you get the earlier baseline figures wrong, then your comparison will be wrong, and I think that lies behind the 500,000. I suspect that the attendance problem is worse than the enrollment problem. I think that would be normal, but I don't think the gap is as large as 50,000 versus 500,000.
Professor Gustafsson says there are other areas that were looked into in this report, including dropout rates. The report has found that the schooling system has holistically succeeded in retaining learners at the secondary level at historical levels. In fact, the grade 12 enrollment increased by a whole 20% between 2020 and 2021.
On the enrollments side, the finding is not that we've lost a huge number of learners. There has been some impact, but certainly not to the degree of 500,000. And there are three areas that this new enrollment report focuses on. Firstly, it looks at whether dropping out age 15 and above has become worse. This has always been a concern for many years, the dropping out problem at secondary schools. The finding is that this has not become worse. In fact, there's been arguably an improvement in the sense that grade 12 enrollments were 20% higher in 2021 than in 2020. And this is largely because schools, the whole system, has tried to accommodate to a large degree learners who struggled with their results in 2020. So learners who perhaps didn't get the results they wanted in order to study further, they've now gone back to school in order to improve their results. So for older learners, that is not a large problem. Then the second issue that was looked at was dropping out among compulsory aged learners. Children are supposed to attend school up to age 15 according to the South African Schools Act. And here we found that, yes, there is dropping out. About 20,000 learners dropped out. Learners one would expect to find in the system after taking into account things like mortality. Learners who should have been in school at the start of 2021 were not there. So there is a dropping out problem. And this is probably worse than in previous years, but because historical data are not very good on that type of dropping out, it's difficult to say. But regardless, if there are 20,000 compulsory age children who have fallen out of the schooling system, that is obviously something one needs to be very concerned about. The situation is worst in parts of KwaZulu-Natal and in Northern Cape.
Ever wondered what the Inkosi Albert Luthuli Oral History Competition is all about? Well, find out after this break.
By training an artisan, we are not just producing a worker, but we are also possibly producing an entrepreneur. This center that we've been launching here at the Sekhukhune Skills Development Center is being built by the wholesale and retail SETA, whose aim really is to provide opportunities for skills development for unemployed youth in the area, as well as for youth in TVET colleges. And that is very important because it's in line with our commitment to actually produce 30,000 artisans per annum by 2030. This center is being built to provide training in areas that relate to the economy of this area. The three main critical pillars of the economy in this part of Sekhukhune is mining, it's agriculture, and tourism. There's also going to be certificates that are going to be given, studied and acquired on animal production, on poultry production, as well as other related agricultural skills. And we are also going to be building an access road into the center, which also is going to create jobs. We are going to be training about 45 informal traders. It's going to create about 262 local jobs, and about 12 small medium enterprises are participating in the construction of the sector. So we are saying to young people, grab these opportunities, because that is likely to significantly change your lives.
Welcome back. Let's shift our focus to this now. The Inkosi Albert Luthuli Oral History Competition took place earlier in October. The competition was started as part of the Basic Education Department's efforts to boost history as a subject of choice for learners. The program, which is named after a dedicated educator and Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Inkosi Albert John Luthuli, was established in 2005 in partnership with the South African History Online. Learners between grade 8 and 11 in all provinces interested in the study of history and social sciences can take part in the competition. However, COVID-19 has affected this program.
It hasn't been easy for us as the Department of Education with schools, the districts and provinces to coordinate this project due to the current COVID-19 pandemic. Understanding that there were some regulations whereby we were restricted in terms of implementing the co-curricular activities. But however, we also actually use other mechanisms whereby we actually tried to ensure that we would use the visual sessions to guide the district coordinators and the provincial coordinators on how they should go about with the process, constantly communicating through the emails on the processes that actually were becoming a challenge to them. But ultimately we have managed to ensure that we have provinces that were able to can even host the provincial rounds. We are here today because 7 provinces of the 9 have been able to host face-to-face provincial rounds. And this actually, it was very exciting, going to provinces, monitoring, seeing learners participating, teachers participating. It truly shows that this was actually one of the activities that has helped them to have a break from the isolation that they were in during the pandemic. They were so excited to see themselves participating.
There are visible benefits when learners enter the competition, such as getting to see their potential and learning more about the country's history.
Our learners get to discover their potential because some learners are very shy. For example, I came with a very shy learner who everyone knew at school that couldn't stand in front of people and present. But today she's here in the national level and then she's presenting, she has confidence. So the first thing that oral history competition does is improve the self-confidence of learners. Secondly, our learners get to gain the research skill while they are still at a very early age. For example, when they get to FET, they know how to do research. When they are given projects and assignment, they do not have challenges. When they get to university, they are going to be much better. As an educator, also, you gain research skills because you help with the learners, you work with them, you have a good relationship with them, and you get to show your learners that history is not boring. You get to show your learners that they can go places just by knowing history and being determined. Also, they gain the knowledge of their community's history and their country's history. And also myself, I am a Peer 1 educator, someone who people could not think that can take learners to this level. We got to the national level. From my first year entering the learners, my learners won. So it's not about winning, actually. It's about you helping your learners to discover their potentials and going places, because some of us are teaching in rural areas and our learners only know teaching and learning as boring because they always go to school and come back. But if you enter them for competitions, they are going to discover their full potential, they are going to be active, and they are going to be able to be competitive in an outside world.
And so, that's how we end this week's news roundup on Channel 122 on OpenView, on YouTube and on Bricks TV Channel 509 Starset. From all of us at DBE TV News to the Matric class of 2021. Remember to take breaks during your studies and speak out if you feel overwhelmed. A bright future awaits you. Remain focused and determined. Until next time, it's goodbye from myself, Tsehoha Jomoagi, and the entire team. Thank you for watching.